This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for June 29th, 9:30 a.m. Here's the Hurrd Track program this morning looking at Tropical Storm Arlene, and the animation indicates that this will make landfall on Thursday morning. And let's go ahead and stop it right about there. And you'll see the aqua circle in the animation are the sustained tropical storm force winds, and they will be approaching the coast of Tampico, right near Tampico tomorrow morning, right around 6 a.m. in the morning with around 60-mile-per-hour winds. In fact, there's a tropical storm warning out for Tampico and surrounding areas, and the countdown clock has been activated at Hurricane City. It's about 20 hours and some odd minutes for landfall for the sustained tropical storm force winds to make it on shore. So this will not be a hurricane more than likely, but it will come in with some high winds and some 12-foot. So I'll show you some graphics here in a minute of the wind and the seas out there. The hurricane hunters are out there this morning, and let's pan this image out. They're flying north and south at the moment, and then they're gonna fly off to the east, and then they're going to come in from the southeast and head back through the center again. But the current center fix has it at 40-mile-per-hour winds, 1,000 millibars, and the maximum flight level winds about 46 knots. That's around 50 miles per hour. And maximum flight level winds, again, 46 knots. But what's interesting about this system, it's a large wind field, and south of the center of circulation, where there really has been a lack of convection over the last 12 hours or so, or where the highest winds are. Some of these winds out here are, let's see, we had a wind gust here, I think it was about 44 knots right down here, well south of the center of circulation. And then when you get right where the circulation is, the wind's around 40 miles per hour, and then the winds are, about 45 miles an hour north of the center. So it's not really organizing quickly here. Pressure's not dropping that dramatically, but this will probably be a 50 or 60 mile an hour tropical storm at landfall. Let's take a look at the floater on this, and you can see the banding is increasing here. Now what's happened over the last 24 hours is the wind shear has prohibited this from really cranking up rapidly. There's plenty warm sea surface temperatures out here, but what happens is you have these west-northwest wind shear over the northern part of this circulation, and this is preventing this from wrapping itself up real nicely. Ideally, what you like to have in a developing tropical system is winds protecting the system. In other words, there's a high-pressure system aloft, and the system has ventilation, and what you like to see are winds evacuating in all quadrants like this, and then the system rises up into the atmosphere and becomes a tropical storm or a hurricane. In this case, we seem to have most of the winds coming across it like this on the northern semicircle. Now, those are lightening up right now, so this might go ahead and ramp up here. It's interesting to note, though, most of the models keep this as a tropical storm and not a hurricane. Let's take a look at tropical Atlantic model runs here, and they're pretty tightly clustered just south of Tampico. Tampico is right up in here, and again, most of these models take it pretty much west going into tonight, and then dip off to the southwest tomorrow morning as it's making landfall just south of Tampico. We like to, in these tropical update videos, compare models, which ones are going one way or the other, but they're pretty consolidated here, and this system is going to be making landfall within 24 hours, so we don't have a lot of time to dissect all the future model tracks on this system. All right, let's go ahead and get to our images, and first of all, here is the current position of our system, and there's our tropical storm Arlene, just about to make its way onshore the central Mexican coastline. And while I have this map up, I want to once again emphasize that you click right where the landfall point is, where Tampico is. That's our current feature at Hurricane City, and it gives you all the localized information, weather observations, radars. However, there are no webcams from Tampico as this makes landfall. But you can check out all the localized. In fact, the news isn't really even talking about it very much in that area. All right, here's the 12-foot sea map here, and the yellow circle indicates seas around 12 feet. So it's a pretty large area of very rough seas north of the center of circulation. Nothing, the 12-foot seas are not south, although I think when this map updates again, being the 44-knot winds we saw from the hurricane hunters, that some of the 12-foot seas are going to show up south of the center. So all these winds and waves are going to be coming on shore near Tampico, and it's going to be pretty rough morning tomorrow morning. People should not be out driving around. There's going to be some debris falling, tree limbs, especially in the coastal areas. It's going to be very rough, so residents need to be warned there. All right, here is the HWRF, and the reason I'm showing the HWRF is this is the only model really that has nailed this system, and it's showing it as a 60 mile an hour, 50, 55, 60 mile an hour tropical storm coming onshore just south of Tampico. The GFDL model, however, has still insisted that this is not going to develop and it's going to remain just below tropical storm strength, especially as it's making its way onshore. It's going to dip to the south and weaken as a tropical depression. So the HWRF so far has been more accurate with this, and this has it coming in here, right as a 55, 60 mile an hour tropical storm. Now, right above the tracking map, you can click the hurricane history of where the position of Arlene, where it developed. And here are all the tracks similar to this time of the year and what systems actually became hurricanes and hit land. This was a 1929 hurricane, and this developed in the same area as Arlene and ended up moving into central Texas coastline. And the next one we have is Hurricane Alice in 1954, developed here and moved into north near just north of La Pesca, Mexico, and south of Brownsville. They could definitely use the rain up there, by the way. And next we have Hurricane Audrey, famous hurricane, 1957, developed in the same area down here and went right towards the Louisiana-Texas border here near Cameron, Louisiana. A lot of people died in Hurricane Audrey. That was a Category 4 hurricane, a monstrous hurricane with a huge storm surge. And then we have Chantal, 1989, developed in the same grid, a little bit further off to the northeast, and then came in near Galveston as a Category 1 hurricane. And that's about it. Now, this is an image from Tampico, Mexico. There are no live webcams from Tampico, but this is the bridge leading to the port of Tampico. And I believe this is looking west. And the ocean would be at the south end of the screen. But pretty nice looking area, actually. And this is not a real populated area. In fact, here's the satellite view of it. And here's where we were looking here. Now, that was the bridge leading over this area here, I believe. Or it was actually going over this marina right here is where that bridge was. And then we have a pretty high population north of the city of Tampico, and then south it's pretty sparsely populated, and the south areas are going to be the most impacted by this, so it looks like it'll be minimal impacts for the more populated areas further north. Here's a shot of the coast. This was from 2007. Just to let you know what Tampico looks like. It's a touristy area, and people come there to visit from all over the world, and just keep that visual in mind when this makes landfall tomorrow morning. All right, well, that's it for now. We'll keep track of Tropical Storm Arlene. Go to the front page. All the information is right there. The models, all the localized information from Tampico, Mexico. I'll be back with another update tomorrow afternoon. By then, this will already have been inland. It'll make landfall tomorrow morning, and we'll discuss what happened as it moved onshore tomorrow evening in tomorrow evening's Tropical Update video. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.